While at Twitter, how many meetings did you have with the FBI?
I couldn't say for sure, but I would
More
say
than 10?
That's a
More than
reasonable
20?
estimate. I couldn't say for sure.
More than 50?
That seems a bit high.
Many meetings with the FBI. Well, we know how many FBI agents worked at Twitter while you were there?
I don't believe any active FBI agents.
Former FBI agents. How many worked there while you were there?
I'm aware of perhaps 2.
Well, we know of at least 9 because they started the BU group chat, BU for Bureau. Now, Mr. Roth, did the FBI ever ask you to share information like users' communication data without going through proper legal channels?
No, they did not, and I would have refused if they had.
That's correct. I see that you denied Agent Chan's request for access to Twitter's data feed. What's sick isn't that you would deny it, it's that the FBI would even ask you for the private data of American citizens without going through legal channels of the law. Now, I want to remind you, Mr. Roth, that you are under oath. Did the FBI ever ask you to do anything that was illegal or questionably legal?
I'm not a lawyer, but certainly not to the best of my recollection or knowledge.
Now, from the hearing that I've been a part of today, it's almost impossible to tell where the FBI ends and where Twitter begins. We have Mr. Baker here, a former FBI agent, and there seems to be a revolving door between the FBI and Twitter itself. Even Mr. Baker said that there was no collusion with the federal government and Twitter. But Mr. Baker, that's you. You are the collusion between the federal government and the FBI. And now this is such a problem because we're seeing censorship all over. Mr. Roth, Ms. Gaddy, did either of you approve the shadow banning of my account at Lauren Boebert? Yes or no?
No, I did not.
Not to the best of my recollection.
Well, let me refresh your memory, because on March 12th, 2021, and Mr. Roth, I know you looked at it because Fascist Twitter 1.0 had a public interest exceptions policy, which means for members of Congress to be shadow banned, it had to go before you, Mr. Roth. So I'll ask again, did you shadow ban my account? Yes or no?
Again, not to the best of my recollection.
So the answer is, Mr. Roth, yes, you did. I found out last night from Twitter staff that you suppressed my account for this tweet. It's a freaking joke about Hillary Clinton being angry that she couldn't rig her election. It's a joke, but in response, being the sinister overlords that you all are, you placed a 90-day account filter so I could not be found. And now we see here that Twitter staff said the visibility filter on my account excluded me from top searches, prevented notifications for non-followers, and much more. This is considered an aggressive visibility filter. You silenced members of Congress from communicating with their constituents. You silenced me from communicating with the American people over a freaking joke. Now, who the hell do you think that you are? Election interference? Yeah, I would say that that was taking place because of you four sitting here. The Hunter Biden laptop story was suppressed. A sitting member of Congress was suppressed. A sitting president was banned from Twitter. You know, I bet that Putin is sitting in the Kremlin wishing he had as much election interference as you four here today. We've heard about threats to democracy. Well, what about shutting down a duly elected member of Congress? This is fundamental to our nation's governance, and you all attacked that very foundation. 230 protections? Well, those are for publishers, not for editors. And it's clear you were not acting as publishers, you were acting as editors. And Mr. Chairman, I think it's far past time that we remove 230 protections for big tech platforms who are abusing this protection. And let me just say, I'm not angry for myself. I'm not angry because I was silenced. I can reach out to Elon and to his staff, and I can see what's happened. And I can sit here today and hold you all in account. I am angry for the millions of Americans who were silenced because of your decisions, because of your actions, because of your collusion with the federal government. They can't reach out to Elon. They can't sit here today and hold you into account. We don't know where the FBI ends and Twitter begins. But I do want to thank
Mr. Chairman,
Elon
we're over
Musk for
17
firing
seconds now.
you four and saving free speech and even Twitter.
So you saw and heard that for yourself. Now,
Do I believe her? Well, no, not really. I think she is angry for, her own banning or shadow banning, as it were. But, the people that go through this every day on the different platforms, are they going to get any sort of redress? Is it going to be addressed by the government? We'll wait and see. But all this tough talk and yakety yak, I'm not impressed. I really am not. And I have learned that, talking is one thing. Actually prosecuting people and make sure that they go to prison, well, that's something entirely different. You could come out there and create a whole dog and pony show, and then everybody gets away with a slap on the wrist. So, I don't know much about Lauren Boebert, but, whatever. We will see what happens. I have absolutely no confidence that these people will go to jail. My thing is time will tell. We'll see. Right? Because we know that people have done egregious things in the past, and somehow, because there's some higher level exec, there's some, person that has greased the palms of so many in the past, in government especially, and in the judicial system, whether it's Department of Justice, FBI, whoever, somehow they get off scot-free. Go live their life in seclusion somewhere on some 10-acre farm or something, in some lavish house. They get their golden parachute, and end of story. Is it going to be the same this time? We'll see. But let's hear what Mr. Higgins has to say. Maybe he'll say something different.
Bottom line is that the FBI had the Biden crime family laptop for a year. They knew it was leaking. They knew it would hurt the Biden campaign. So the FBI used its relationship with Twitter to suppress criminal evidence being revealed about Joe Biden 1 month before the 2020 elections. You, ladies and gentlemen, interfered with the United States of America 2020 presidential election, knowingly and willingly. That's the bad news. It's going to get worse because this is the investigation part. Later comes the arrest part. Your attorneys are familiar with that. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to spend 5 hours with these ladies and gentlemen doing depositions surely yet to come. But for right now, I'll yield the balance of my time.
So, you heard that portion for yourself as well. As I said, this is a wait and see. For me, personally, right? Boebert talked about, interfering with the elections. Higgins said the same thing, right? After the elections, there was this whole thing from Republicans that, they felt that Joe Biden stole the elections and all this other stuff. Everybody said, no, it's not possible. I know for a fact that it is possible. Just people are so dumb. They don't do any research. Like a basic search, you could find it here on YouTube, how it's possible. Right? People think that this AI tech is just, for your cell phone and stuff like that. How do you think people's credit card numbers, social security numbers, how do you think these things go and get missing just out of the blue? How do you think these large corporations always have these issues where data is leaked? Do you have any idea how hard people work to steal people's information? And you think something as important as the elections, people spend hundreds of millions of dollars to run, and if they can spend a few million to change it in their favor, they won't do it? Anyways, Anybody interested in that information, I of course have it available. I can post it, how elections can get rigged, and stuff like that. There's so much that I have rattling around here. I know where to get it from. It's just that, I can't be all things to all people. I only do what I can do. I'm one person. But, I guess we'll see what happens. There's been all these hearings and, my thing is, when is the prosecution part going to come? When is the prison time going to come? Not just for those at Twitter. The big tech companies that have been blocking people's information, especially on the right? Because after what was it that happened recently, the Grammys or whatever, there's some idiot on TV talking about, oh, the left has won, and, there was so much inclusion in the Grammys, and we had all these wonderful things. The left has won. I'm looking at this woman like, man, you dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? These people looking at the degradation of a culture that's already, so dispersed because it's a melting pot of so many different ethnicities. But at the same time, like, things are going down the tubes, and this woman is celebrating like straight delusional. But anyway, trying to keep this video short, not too long. I hope you liked it. Take it into context, however, these people are still part of the government. Whether they're going to keep their word remains to be seen. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course share it with everyone you know. I'm out. Peace.